it's important that we all be involved with the vote. It makes a difference.
This morning, there's one final push to get people statewide registered to vote. Today is the last day to register for that November general election. And if you're mailing in your registration, you've got to get it in the mail as soon as you leave the house this morning. It needs to be postmarked with today's date. Many Western New Yorkers are making sure they can vote this November. In Erie County, well over 600,000 people are already registered. The Erie County Board of Elections says if you don't know if you're registered, it's easy to check.
Voters could check their registration online at elections.erie.gov to make sure that they're not only registered, but also registered at the right address. They can make that change up till the 14th of October.
We have all the information about key dates on WKBW.com. Many members of the community are leading the charge this morning, getting people to the polls on Election Day. Months of protest and civil unrest played a huge part in all of this. All new for you this morning, 7 Eyewitness News reporter Madison Carter is going in depth, finding out how these protests became a driving force to get people to vote.
Buffalo's one match away from turning into a war zone.
5 months ago, the chants made their way into nearly every home, the message clear.
I can't breathe!
But it's the whispers that viewers didn't hear through their screens that are getting ready to make the loudest statement.
One of my friends she was like, I'm not even registered to vote. And I was like, what?
Weaving their way through the crowds at each demonstration were dozens of volunteers putting the act in activism, registering voters.
If we're going to be out here for 4 hours, why the heck are we not registering people to vote?
To date, more than 620,000 people are registered to vote in Erie County. Huff's group registered nearly 300 of those new voters.
I definitely think that the younger kids are getting it because at the end of the day, it's our world that we have to fight for. We're the future. So if we see something that we don't like right now, particularly, we have to fight for that change.
Injury attorneys John Elmore and Steve Boyd have held 10 weeks of drives to get people registered, 1,400 and counting, and it is everyone joining in on this year's push to the polls.
We went to every single section of the city, from Riverside to South Buffalo to the east side, west side, north side.
It wasn't just black people, it wasn't just white people. There was Asians, there was Latinos, there were so many people coming together to fight for a cause that can save somebody's life at the end of the day.
When you ask experts what changed to give unregistered voters an urgency to cast their ballot, they say the last 8 months in America has been pivotal.
COVID-19 had an impact on that, in that people were more available to pay attention to the injustices and the protests.
When George Floyd happened and, people weren't at work, they weren't out with their friends, they were stuck in their homes, so they had to watch it on TV. They had to witness it. They had no other choice. Where are you going to go?
Having nowhere to turn from issues facing our community pushed people to instead dig deeper.
People started to look into the policies that create this culture where Black and brown people are disproportionately impacted by the criminal justice system.
The way to get change is to vote.
Madison Carter, 7 Eyewitness News.